Bosse Field, the Evansville Otters come back in extra innings in tremendous fashion to defeat the Washington Wild Things 7-5. I'm Mike Radomski here in Evansville, Indiana. Got a lot of innings to go through. Let's start off through the very first few. In the first inning, it was Jorge Lugo starting for the Evansville Otters. He allowed a double to Michael Parker and then an RBI single by John Delaney as he was able to make it 1-0. And then a few innings later, top of the fourth, again coming back were the Wild Things as they scored 3 runs off of 3 Evansville Otters errors to take a high advantage 4-0. But credit Bill McCune, his very first game as the interim manager for the Evansville Otters. He kept his team in it, and his team came back for him. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Vinny Scarduzio came up to the plate and contributed to the effort. The 3-2. Hit into the air to left field. Going all the way back now is Stevens. Further back, warning track, home run Scarduzio. A solo home run by the Evansville Otters right fielder. And Evansville is now on the scoreboard. They are down 4-1. But not for long, though, as the game would continue into the 6th inning. Killian and Alexander get on base against Steve McFarland, and then Brandon Cohen comes up to the plate in what turned out to be one of the odder plays of the ball game, but one of the bigger plays as well. 2-0 pitch. Cohen, a deep drive out towards center field. Losing it for a moment. Out there is Sidick. It falls in. 2-run score. It's 4-3 as Evansville gets a break. They're now behind by just a run. And that really played out because then in the next inning, Greg Alexander came up and he took care of it. Look back to Stanton, the 3-1. Hit out towards center field. That'll get on in. Sidick gets it. Waved around third is Stanton. The third of the plate, not in time. Game tying RBI single for the batter, Greg Alexander. And just like that, Evansville has erased a 4-run deficit as they have now tied up the game 4 runs apiece. And then it was up to the bullpens to make sure that they could take advantage in those late innings and make sure that the other teams did not get the scoring advantage. Jared Simon along with Patrick Kreider able to hold down those middle innings up against the Washington Wild Things. And in that 9th inning, a leadoff single by Jacob Dempsey, he got on, moved up to second base on a fielding error, and then up to third base on a ground out. Jared Simon buckled down as he got Adam Amar to hit a ground ball to first base that Cohen produced into out number 2, and Danny Duran then tried to come through as well. Righty-righty match, up the throw. Ground ball up the middle, Simon's got it. A rush to first, a flip underhand, and the Otters get out of trouble. Continuing along, a phenomenal play by Simon to keep the inning ending and then continue along for the Evansville Otters. 9th inning, 10th inning, take it to the top of the 11th inning where Washington came through and they were able to take the lead. 2-1 pitch, line drive over short and into left center field. Hartman hits third. Alexander's throw is up the line. The run scores. It's 5-4 Washington. And then just like when things looked they were over, Eric McConnell tried to finish out the ball game. He was pitching earlier on. He was trying to go through and go the full 2 1/3 innings for what would be the win. But after getting those 2 outs, he walked back-to-back batters. Billy Killian gets on base. Then another runner gets on base when Greg Alexander showed his patient eye. And then with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, Jake Rogers was your hitter and your hero. Killian and Alexander with the lead, the 1-2 pitch. Long fly ball, deep left field. Going back is Stevens looking up, it's gone! A 3-run walk-off home run for Jake Rogers as the Evansville Otters have come back to win 7-5 against the Washington Wild Things. Revenge can be your best friend. Revenge can also be your worst enemy. Washington had the walk-off home run against Evansville last week. Tonight, it belongs to the Evansville Otters and the third baseman, Jake Rogers. And Rogers would end up being your player of the game. It's tough to give it to someone else who actually goes 3 for 6 and comes away with the walk-off 3-run home run in the Evansville Otters win. Some final numbers for you here. 7 runs on 12 hits. 5 errors committed by the Evansville Otters. On the other side, Washington 5 runs on 9 hits. They had 1 error in the ball game. The winning pitcher is Kyle Barry. He threw the top of the 11th inning, allowed that 1 run, but the offense backing him up as teammates often do in the bottom of the inning. The losing pitcher, Eric McConnell, who had been so dominant during last week's series against Evansville, faltering down in that last half inning. He takes the loss. It's his second one of the season as he allowed those 3 runs all on the last hit. Game time was 3 hours and 50 minutes. 1,510 fans here at Bosse Field to see the walk-off home run by Jake Rogers and the Evansville Otters. So that's going to wrap up things here from the ballpark. We want to thank everyone who made this broadcast possible. First off, a special thanks goes to Brandon Godden, the executive producer at WUEV, and working tirelessly back in our Evansville, Indiana studios, producing all of the highlights and commercials for you, our studio producer tonight, John Luttrell. John, amazing job. We really appreciate it. Please join us tomorrow night when the Evansville Otters and Washington Wild Things meet again in the middle game of the 3-game series. If it's anything like tonight's game, you do not want to miss that game. First pitch scheduled for 6:35. The Evansville Otters pregame show will begin at 6:15. Your final score once again, Evansville 7, Washington 5. A walk-off home run by Jake Rogers into the night sky of Evansville, Indiana. For everyone here at Bosse Field, I'm Mike Radomski. Have a great night, everyone.
The proceeding has been a presentation of Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV Evansville. For a complete game and broadcast schedule and to stay current on any Otters info, visit us online at evansvilleotters.com. Thanks for listening, and until next time, go Otters.